cable reaches halfway point. TE SubCom's responder ship. The $350 million Hawaiki Transpacific submarine cable system has now reached the halfway point of its rollout across the Pacific Ocean, with the 15,000-kilometer subsea cable to connect Australia and New Zealand to Hawaii and the west coast of the United States. More than half of the 15,000-kilometer submarine cable system has now been laid, with TE SubCom's cable-laying vessel, the Responder, now berthed in Auckland ahead of connecting New Zealand to the system later in January. Landing the cable in its home country represents a major event for our team, Hawaiki Submarine Cable LP CEO Rémi Galasso said. Hawaiki will bring huge benefits to New Zealand in terms of greater connectivity to Australia and the US, security of supply, diversity, and increased business opportunities for the telecom and IT industries. Hawaiki also announced being granted a U.S. Federal Communications Commission (FCC) license in December, with the U.S. domestic segment between Oregon and Hawaii having been completed during the final quarter of 2017. With the cable landings in Sydney, Australia, Oahu, Hawaii, and Pacific City, Oregon already completed, the cable landing in American Samoa is scheduled to complete in March. Hawaiki began laying the international portion of its subsea cable in November. The system includes some branching units as well for the islands. American Samoa is already in, and we expect a few more coming in the next few months, Galasso told media at the time. We have included in the system a branching unit for Fiji, another one for Tonga, and another one for the French territory of New Caledonia. American Samoa will be the cable's hub for the Polynesian region, he said, with the company remaining positive that it will bring broadband pricing down in the region. The cable remains on track to be active in June 2018, Galasso told ZDNet, explaining that there will be 3 fiber pairs, 2 between Sydney and the US, and 1 from New Zealand to the US. 2 maintenance vessels, one based in Noumea and the other in Vancouver, are set to repair the system over the next 25 years, with the lifespan of the cable system guaranteed by TE SubCom. Construction commenced on the Hawaiki subsea cable in April 2016, 3 years after first being announced. It has a design capacity of 43.8 Tbps and makes use of TE SubCom C100U plus submarine line terminating equipment, SLTE. The cable is privately owned, having been co-developed by Sir Ian Edgar, a New Zealand businessman whose company provided substantial investment for the cable in July 2015, and Galasso. Also providing funding was Malcolm Dick, the co-founder of New Zealand's third-largest telco Slingshot. Back in August 2013, Australian internet service provider TPG signed on to pay between $10 million Australian dollars and $14 million Australian dollars in capex over 3 years for 3 Tbps of capacity on the Hawaiki cable, to which it can also add the 3 Tbps of capacity that Inet signed a multi-million-dollar agreement to purchase in October 2013, thanks to its $1.5 billion Australian dollars takeover of Inet. Telecommunications carriers and consortiums have been racing to build out subsea cable capacity across the Asia-Pacific region, driven by the rapid increase in data usage globally. These cables include Superloop's Indigo system, the Jupiter subsea cable, the Trident subsea cable, Vocus Australia-Singapore cable, ASC, and Northwest Cable System, and WCS, Southern Cross Cable Network's Next Cable, the Asia-Pacific Gateway, APG, the Faster Cable, and Superloop's Hong Kong Cable. Vocus earlier on Thursday additionally announced entering a $2.8 million Australian dollars agreement with Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, DFAT, to scope out the design, construction, and procurement of a subsea cable between Australia, Papua New Guinea, and Solomon Islands. Vocus to scope out Pacific subsea cable for government. Vocus will spend the next 3 months consulting with the Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands governments on a high-capacity telecommunications subsea cable to connect them with Australia, thanks to a $2.8 million Australian dollars tender with the federal government. How shark attacks, shipwrecks, and earthquakes threaten global communications, Tech Republic man-made and natural threats have damaged undersea fiber optic cables connecting ASEAN countries as well as Guam, Australia, and the United States, causing issues for some internet users. AT&T pushes pre-5G network for Super Bowl. AT&T has spent more than $40 million improving its network throughout Minneapolis ahead of Super Bowl, including antenna upgrades in the stadium and city. Data backups, the Smart Person's Guide, Tech Republic. This guide is an entry-level summary of enterprise backup software. Mobile device computing policy. Tech Pro research. Mobile devices offer convenience and flexibility for the modern workforce, but they also bring associated risks and support issues. This policy establishes guidelines to help ensure safe and productive mobility.